Condev to enter liquidation. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee. Unfortunately, Condev, which we discussed about yesterday, that was facing collapse, couldn't raise the money from their developers, and now it looks like they're entering liquidation. So another big construction company is going under. This is a sad pattern we're starting to see here, everyone. I mean, here's the thing. You've got to feel sorry for the construction company, for the people that have built this company, but also for those people that have invested in these buildings, for the subbies that have been working on it. There's a whole chain of people that will be affected by this. This will flow through an entire pillar of the economy, everyone. So let's have a look at what they have to say on news.com.au. Condev Construction to enter liquidation in another major industry collapse. And of course, they're showing ProBuild here, everyone. Australian construction firm Condev will go into liquidation after failing to secure a reported bid for $25 million from developers. The Gold Coast-based builder announced Tuesday a liquidator was being sought to take over its affairs. Last month, another local construction giant, ProBuild, was placed into administration, citing similar issues with rising building costs or business costs. Now, here's the thing, everyone. Here's one thing that we're seeing with all of this. All these big builders working on these big jobs are getting into trouble as these construction costs go up. And we're all noticing it. Every one of us in the game is noticing how expensive everything's getting. How bloody close to the edge are these builders? You'd think something this big would have enough buffers to be able to weather a bit of a storm. But I guess it's been 2 years now, going on to the 3 years. It's tough times. 750 jobs, everyone. That was a ProBuild. Condev founders Steve and Tracy Marias met with some of Australia's biggest developers earlier in the week to ask for assistance, but were unsuccessful, the Australian reported. On Tuesday, they said in a statement they were absolutely devastated for the Condev family of employees, our tradespeople, and our affiliates. A lawyer for the couple explained the decision was made based on forward projections dictated by increasingly challenging market conditions, including the exponential rise in material costs. This has been extremely stressful for Steve and Tracy, who are highly regarded in the industry and the Gold Coast community as Tier 1 corporate citizens, they said. In a heartfelt email, the couple told staff not to come into work on Wednesday. Oh, bugger. I mean, this is a sad thing, guys. Whenever you hear of a company like this fall over, it's with the heaviest heart that we advise that we have not been able to achieve the outcome from Monday's meeting with developers that we'd hoped, and the decision to proceed to the liquidation of Condev Construction is now a matter of course, they said. In the email, they referenced the global pandemic and material price hikes as contributing to putting them out of business. One subcontractor told the Australian the company tried to do the right thing and being transparent with their issues. That's good to hear. Obviously, they owe us money, and it's not ideal, but they didn't do this on purpose. They've just gone in too keen, underpriced on some jobs, and it hasn't worked out, they said. So they went in tight on some jobs, and they didn't anticipate materials blowing out. I mean, look at iron ore, look at steel, look at all the costs of everything. We just need a quick resolution so that other builders can take over the jobs. The sooner life gets back to normal, the better. They added it could be the tip of the iceberg as far as the industry is going. Workers were seen packing up their tools on Queensland's work sites from Monday afternoon as rumours of the company's fate circulated. The company specialised in a range of different types of projects, primarily in Queensland, from multi-dwelling to warehouses. It is also reported to have been contracted to build 18 new projects in partnership with developers it met earlier in the week, valued at $1 billion. They include the Cairns Waterfront Surfers Paradise, Brookes Residence, in Varsity Lakes. Yeah, okay, so a whole lot of apartments around the Gold Coast that now they're not going to do anymore. However, the pipeline was disrupted by skyrocketing construction costs, which rose 25% in the past 18 months amid the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and recent flooding. Another subcontractor who told the Australian he expected to lose the money he was owed by Condev said he accepted that fact. They've always been very good to all these subcontractors and always paid exactly on time. Now, some people may not realize how big a deal that is. I was explaining to a mate who's in the medical industry as a doctor, just saying the challenges of getting paid on time, and he couldn't even relate to that. There's some people that wouldn't understand what it's like in construction, just getting paid late. And if you make too much of a squeaky noise, well, you don't get hired for the next job. That's the power differential that we have in the industry. There's never been an inkling of them not doing the right thing. I can only speak highly of them. So this is the news.com take here about Condev. Let's check out what Subbies United now have to say about this. So this is Condev, Subbies stay home. Subbies United. This is from yesterday. Despite pleas from Condev's management to come to work today, Condev Subbies are scrambling to get their gear off various sites, and who can blame them? Project managers have contacted Subbies and said they're expected to be at work today. Others have said get your gear off site. Under the circumstances, how can they expect Subbies to return today is beyond me. Naivety or blind loyalty perhaps, or a lack of knowledge of what is to come. One site was described by the Subbies as an absolute lolly scramble, with Subbies trying to get their gear off site. Other sites are similar, with staff sitting in their site office and Subbies bustling to pack up. There is security on another site at Varsity Lakes. It's not that Subbies are deserting a wounded construction company, but it's unfair to ask them to continue to work and potentially add to their losses when Condev management don't know if they can continue to trade. Clearly, they can't continue without a rescue package, and that is an intention that they are being, and that is an indication that they are insolvent, which brings them into attention of the QBCC. They keep changing the bloody name of this entity in Queensland here, and the potential for their license to be suspended. The fact that Condev have taken the course of action they have creates a big problem for Subbies. The problem is that from this point on, everyone knows the company is insolvent, including the QBCC. If a miracle doesn't happen, and it goes down within the next 6 months, and all the historic indicators say it will, everything paid to the subcontractors from Saturday onward will be considered a preferential payment and will be clawed back by greedy liquidators. Now, this is a very interesting thing. It's a good thing that Subbies United are raising this. If someone is trading as they're, insolvent, and they pay money to just certain people, they can all be clawed back and then redistributed. That's the power that they have when the authorities come in. Or in liquidators. If it goes down in 6 months, every payment from that date back to now is a preferential payment. The only way that won't happen is if Condev agree to a deed of company arrangement. So if all else fails and they really care about their Subbies, suppliers and staff, which I believe they do, they will head the direction of DOCA. But when the chips are down, it's usually the builder who comes out of it clean and Subbies left holding the bag. Without exception, Subbies that we've talked to are hoping that a rescue package can be found, and we know it hasn't. Condev, who have all the infrastructure in place to make it work. The big question is the profitability of their jobs, and on the surface, there is no profit margin. It's been that way for 2 years, with $358,000 in loss on turnover of $181 million in 2021 financial year and a small profit in 2020. Time will tell what has happened this year, but the company's obviously not in profit. Yeah, so they were in trouble for a couple of years, guys. And this is COVID. This is lockdowns. This is the market. This is part of the price we've been paying. And I'm sure everyone's seen the footage now of the Premier of New South Wales saying how all the QRs and RAT tests in the school, it was all just bullshit to satiate the media, union, teachers, and parents. Hey, what's a few more million in tax debt? All the subbies I've talked to are paid up to date, which leaves up to 45 days of work plus their retentions at risk. Okay, that's not ideal. It's not ideal. It means you're only losing a month and a half of work, which still can be a lot depending on where you are in your projects, but it could be a lot bloody worse, guys. Getting paid on time from some builders can be a mission, everyone. If you got paid early, let us know in the comments if you're working for a builder and you got paid early. Now, that's an experience. Government has legislated that all retentions are to be paid into a third-party trust account, so the builders cannot use that money for their cash flow. Projects valued at 10 million plus came into effect in January this year and down to 1 million next January. But it should have been kept on target to happen earlier and would have had it not been for MBA's lobbying the government to hold back. Okay, this is the Subbies United pushing for trust accounts, third-party accounts where all the payments are held to kind of manage, to avoid the subbies being screwed over. I don't know, it never really works. Doesn't seem to work. We'll have to see. I mean, what they do is they get the builders. You get them as architect, contract administrator, and you get the builder to sign a stat deck. Those have all been thrown out of court. A stat deck saying they paid everyone. They've all been thrown out of court. I went a lawyer presentation saying they mean bugger all because the judge threw one out because it was unreasonable for the director of a big company to expect everything's been paid. So they lied on a stat deck. Did they go to jail? Yeah, it's all bullshit, guys. Retentions are always lost in an insolvency, and the numbers can be very large for the bigger subcontractors. Even the smaller retentions are relative to small subbies and hurt just as much. Payment up to date means January claims have been paid, leaving February and whatever work has been done in March, so it's a big hit for subbies. The ball is now in the QBCC's court, who, no doubt, will have a close eye on Condev. To be brutally honest, everyone seems to be missing the point about the big player in the Condev matter, which is QBCC. Like them or hate them, they have the final say. Despite what we all hope for, we've seen it many times when directors engage in the fantasy of rescuing a lame duck. MFRs have two elements, the net tangible asset test and the current ratio. What is clear is that they would fail the current ratio test. That is, the projected income is less than the projected expenditure, and despite what they say, they are more than likely trading insolvent. The process will be, number one, QBCC is now aware of the Condev issue and will ask for financials. QBCC might go for immediate suspension. Condev will provide for financials in 7 days. Yeah, I mean, they're getting liquidated now. Condev has done good things for the community over many years, including providing employment for a lot of loyal staff and hundreds of subcontractors and suppliers. Their charity Condev Cares has been of great assistance to people in need, so like everyone, we wish them all the best. But our comments are tempered by experience in a very tough industry, and that has forced us to be realists. We won't give people false hope. So yeah, this is the thing with Subbies United. You've got to understand they've got an agenda, but they also have a shitload of experience in this. So it's kind of depressing to see. You know, there you go, guys. So, another big builder in liquidation. Let's have a talk about this. Kind of feels like we're seeing a pattern here, everyone. I feel sorry for the subbies, once again. What can you do? I mean, when you're working on a big job like this, you want to do your best. You want to keep the boys on there working. You want to get as much done as possible. Yeah, I mean, what can you do to protect yourself as a subby from this? Manage your risk. I mean, that's the risk of business. You got to build it in. You can't really front load your fees as much. People are going to notice. Then they won't pay that. Let's hope this isn't the beginning of a domino effect, everyone. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and enjoy the stuff I find and put together here, there are a few ways you can help out. Join us on YouTube or Patreon. Sign up for SelfWealth or Stake, or use our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. Take care, everyone. I'll link to the last video about this Condev saga. It's kind of sad. They're a decent-sized firm. They're well-known in the industry. Another one bites the dust, eh?